boss man. Let's go, man.
Morning.
Let's go, homie. Just saying, have we looked at shipping container companies to short? No, I don't know where to start with that. Salt, do you have a kid yet? We were talking about you yesterday. Looking forward to spending the morning. Weathering the storm, you're quitting your job or retiring, one of the two. What did you do for 31 years? Congrats. VIX is spiking up really good right now. Look at that freaking level, man. Meteorologist, wow. You one of those guys on TV that we don't know that it's been you this whole time? Salt, did you say if you had a kid or not? No, just nothing. $5K baby tax. Damn, JFBR.
Pretty soon I am gonna be pulling grandmas like SJ with these good looks.
Bro. I had another grandma encounter for you guys that weren't aware. Another Peaches encounter, will you? That all girl met? Ah. Did I take her panties? Yes, that was the first thing I was thinking of. Y'all wouldn't believe it, man. Y'all wouldn't believe it. Holy hell, the Pope. I just got my new inner ear monitors. I know they look the same to you, Walt. They're very different. I've got to change the EQ, but things sound way different. Like I felt like I heard the soul of that groundhog just now. It's the hair, just on the wrong side, isn't it? How was the loading? Not bad. Definitely glad I went with the ramp. The trailer with the ramp. There's no way I was going to lift that bitch up. Handies. I haven't done the EQ yet on it yet because I can't find where Go XLR moved it. It's driving me nuts. Dr. Soils, the 4 years. Holy jeez.
4 years.
What'd I get? I bought a wood splitter from an old lady. She's from New Jersey. She had to get away from it. She divorced. And she said the hurricane was because of chemtrails. So it's like, wow, I've heard of that theory before. What are they putting in the air? She named 3 chemicals I've never heard of before. And then she's like, I go, why are they doing that? She goes, I don't know. I go, I bet it's because it's something nefarious. Yeah. Before I left, dihydrogen monoxide. I don't know what that is. H2. So yeah, she gave me a hug, and it's not like one of those side hugs, pat. It's full on chest to chest. I was like, jeez. I had to come home and shower after a 2.5-hour drive.
Mass attack starts in
freaking
5,
out loud.
4.
You know what I mean? Almost like you got your hands on something else. All right, what the hell was I looking at? I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right now. Oh my gosh. Well, that hits different. That hits a little different there. Gonna have to adjust the volumes. Oh, they're all louder. Is that a shark with Nikes? What's going on today? What was I about to look at? I can't even remember. All right, that's worthless. What was the headline on this thing? billion AI data center joint venture in Canada. Census Core. Wow, Fly just chunked. I wanted to test your new earbuds. Well, you blew them out, so there's that. I gotta EQ this. Where's the EQ on Go XLR? They freaking hit it? Where'd it go?
Come on.
Did you know Drake got caught singing Not Like Us in the shower? Feels like this market KEK.
Huh? I don't even understand the joke. Snowflake. 31 months. Let's go, buddy. I don't understand your joke. SAGT hitting the scanners. Oh, that was a 50-cent drop and then a 50-cent pop. Someone's selling here. No chat rooms right now. Well, the initial one, I don't know. I know at least one chat room's in it now, though. Good hit. That's a veteran hit right there. It's a veteran hit. Oh. Oh. Okay. But is something funny? I don't get it. I'm stupid. Probably don't answer that. I'm either referring to Warrior Trading or Normac or Jason Bond's group, or it could be any. There's a StockTwits, Benzingas. It's one of those. Is that under the mic tab? Oh, sure is. Okay. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Oh, yeah. Test, 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 test. No, get you down. Test, 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 test. 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 Test, 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 test. Wow. This is so much different. Test, 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 test. That's muddy. Test, test, test. Okay. That's better. That's better. Did that sound any different for you all? But it sounds better for me. Jeez, it's loud. I gotta lower that too. Same. Good. A little more lows. Jake, you got good ears. It's about all I adjusted. Got a good headset on or whatever. You were a sound engineer? Hot damn. It's 9 o'clock? Shit. Eurobank's getting wrecked. Is that what's moving things right now? IVF, former runner moving here. What is this thing? GDP numbers? What were they? Minus 0.3. Yep, I see. no bueno. Of course. Of course. The time I swing this thing, oh, gap down 2.5%. Piece of shit. I can never win with this stupid stock. Yeah, that reminds me. CRDO, what are you doing? Stagflation. That's been the narrative. This thing, yeah. Stagflation's a bitch, man. A food shortage? You still got your berries? Time to get better at making bread. Hell yeah. I've been making bread left and right, homie. I kind of get obsessed with trying to perfect like one type. So I haven't tried other things. I really want to do sourdough, but I haven't started that yet. 16? Jeez. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a food shortage. If we didn't get any kind of disruption from the Russia-Ukraine war, I don't believe any food shortage, unless there's some kind of natural disaster that I don't know about. Jeez, you and your freaking oats. Listen, I didn't tell you to buy something you didn't like eating. That's on you. This freaking guy. It stems from all the Reddit posts of truck drivers that take loads from Seattle port. It hasn't moved anything in weeks. Oh, geez. Well, that's something. I did not tell you to buy shit oats. That's on you. What's this pasty? How did you find this pasty? What am I watching? Where does this come from? Who makes this shit?
Brother, may I have some oats?
No.
I am starving, brother.
As am I, brother. The tall, skinny figure has thrown the oats at me. Me, brother. I believe they have taken a liking to me.
No, brother. I have seen this before. I have observed many things. From the roaring beast that the tall, skinny figures crawl in sight of to travel far beyond the horizon, to how the figure wept when the other had fallen into a deep sleep. And from my experiences, I have learned that they will give extra oats to one of us before taking them into the shed of no return. They will do terrible things in that shed, brother.
Lies! That shed is where the chosen ones go to dine with our tall, skinny gods. You are a fool, brother, and you shall be left behind in the mud with your backwards ideas.
No, brother! You must believe me. Share with me the oats, and you shall not reach the desired girth for the tall, skinny ones. They will spare your life, brother.
Aha! So this was all a plan to steal my oats. You truly are despicable, brother. I will not trust your lies.
Brother, when they took me outside the reaches of the pointy fences, into the roaring beast and way over the horizon, I saw it. I was taken to a gathering of these tall, skinny figures. They paraded me around, brother, and I saw the truth. I saw the tall, skinny ones consuming our flesh. I could not have been mistaken, brother. The smell of the flesh was surely one of us. They suspended the flesh above a fire and let it burn before consuming it. They did not just consume it either, brother. They took pleasure from this. Their mouths curved a wicked smile, and some even let out moans of satisfaction from consuming our flesh, brother. The figures are consumers, brother. They are no different than the furry red demon that consumed and terrorized us and the feathered ones.
Your story amuses me, brother, but does not convince me. I shall have these oats myself and dine with the tall, skinny gods.
I am sorry for you, brother. Your eyes cannot take the blinding light of the truth, and you scurry back to your cave. I shall take care of your spawn once they consume you, brother, as they have consumed your lover, our father, our mother, and many more.
Who makes this shit? Brother.
TSLA Tesla getting a small pop here off the lows. 280.42. Down about $11.5. Tango Sandy Lima Alpha.
Bull ever gonna have a freaking candle over candle day? Jeez. Did you have your Red Bull today? I got it right here, bud. Got it right here. Trump talking? All right. This is Biden's stock market, not Trump's. I didn't take over until January 20th. Tariffs will soon start kicking in, and companies are starting to move into the USA in record numbers. Our country will boom. We have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while. It has nothing to do with tariffs, only that he left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, we'll be like none
President
other.
Trump says
Be
on the
patient.
economy, this will take a while.
Setting us up. Waffle, brother.
Come on.
Morning all.
Do. Nay. I just learned that you have to earn those golden tomatoes. Oh, the Pope, you got the double balls. Did you guys plan this shit? So when you start getting the golden balls, because I think you've spent 500 bits worth of stuff, so you get the golden tomato. It's a moment, and you get to share your golden tomato balls with me. So Nene and the Pope, thank you for sharing your golden balls with my face. Hey, who said they were the sound engineer? Are you still here? I have a question. Mother of God. Nay. Jake, yeah, Seattle Jake. Where in Windows can I EQ? Hold on! Where can I EQ my levels? Because I feel like, okay, you'll understand this. I had my previous in-ear monitors were Ultimate Ear Lives. I just upgraded to, I can't even remember what they're called. The latest one. It has 21 freaking drivers in this thing. It's insane. But I want to EQ. It's a little muddy, and I want to EQ that And Go XLR only allows me to EQ my mic. I want to. Is there a place in Windows that gives me the EQ option on everything else I'm listening to? OBS. OBS has an EQ? Is it really? Where? OBS has it in filters. All right. Thank you very much. Ask this guy, tall, skinny guys. He never does his homework, probably plays hockey. Yeah. Yeah. What are we talking about? Can you milk me, Greg? Okay. If you have custom sound drivers for your motherboard, I have no idea. Probably not. To do your own, you might need voice meter. I was hoping I didn't have to download a program. And it could be that my brain is just not used to it yet. That does happen. Talk to me about those last two Senator goals. I actually didn't watch the game. I was driving, so I was listening to the game. Yeah, I got the log splitter yesterday. It took me 2.5 hours to get to Peaches and then 2.5 hours back. She felt me up. The game have another shoulder attack. Okay, so we're talking Toronto game right now. The guy that accosted Hagel, first off, Hagel is now out for game 5 because he's concussed. The guy that hit him just got a 2-game suspension. And we still feel robbed because the guy that hit him should have gotten a 5-minute major in a game misconduct. She should have been kicked out of the game. And that same player made the game-tying goal in game 4 with 3 minutes left on the clock. So he got the play, he got the game-tying goal, and we lost our third best goal scorer. Arguably maybe it might have been the second best. He had no power play goals. We're all 5-on-5. That was loud. Shut up, Chicka Bow Wow. It's Tampa Bay soft. Oh my gosh. You can root for the Golden Knights after your team is out. I'm a Stars fan. If my team goes, I'm rooting Stars. I don't know how the Stars aren't a dynasty, honestly. Their drafting has been insane, and their players are insane. What's going to be the reason for JP not to cut the rates? I have no idea. Navarro coming on CNBC next. Bye-bye, Spy. Oh, boy. Goose says GoXL has multiple jobs with the brands for different audio sources. GoXLR? I could only find it for the freaking microphone. I couldn't find it for everything else. Well, Come on! Trump said we're gonna boom. Why would he cut? I asked ChatGPT. It said it only had it for the microphone. Like it's weird that it wouldn't have an EQ for each of its digital inputs. Puck Doku. What is this? If the seller is both a player, wait, both an awards. There's too much reading to figure this game out. So you have to come up with a player that played for Oilers and the Ducks. Yeah, I couldn't do this. There's no way. I ain't that good. Thank you, Positive. Appreciate it. All right, 5-minute break. Be back for that. No trades yet. let's get after it. Damn, why is Starbucks down so much? Wow. Because it got my wife a coffee maker. CEP light volume. Trying to go high today. See. RCKY. Sure what that's it. Bull, nice red to green. Really sure what this is. This thing's juicing. RCKY. Geez, 80-cent spread. Okay. Okay. About a minute on this ULY. IVF popping up. CEP trend. Can't find anything I'm in love with yet. VIX is still spiking up. STSS has been doing well. That was a nice W out of it. $6.18. So it's a 10-minute halt on Oli. Spiked up to 58. RCKY could be building a W. Could be. It got real spready all of a sudden, though. So probably not interesting. And light volume. Man. Do I think we test the 52-week lows? That was induced by panic. So we could, but it's probably going to take panic to get there. Another like, oh, things aren't getting better anytime soon, and now we know it's not getting any better anytime soon. Bull, big pop. Is this 19? Tesla drilling.
Come on.
C-Bus, 45 months. Let's go, buddy. Rocky has a dub.
45 months. Still waiting for the super secret reward.
Oh, my
Oh, Billy, oh, Billy. Blew up another account. Time to slowly rebuild.
You did? Did you really? Freaking A. Damn it, C-Bus. Fully resumed. Oops, I got it on the wrong screen, boys. Yikes. Why is NVIDIA up today with... Oh, it's not up. Okay, moving back down. That's more like it. it's got to be the Jensen meeting today that saving this sucker from just getting cratered. I cannot find a trade I like right now. Good call on ODD, Nick. Well, I'm not unsure. I just can't find a trade like a setup. Maybe Tesla short. Jeez. I mean, that is... It looks good for 1 minute. But I really don't want to take this for my first trade. It's so... I mean, look at that's just $2.50 drop there. $0.40 spread. What are we doing? Right up into it. 35 at 34. That break it. Slower in size here. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Yeah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. See. Chicago PMI, nothing crazy. Pony moving again. Tesla has a short setup here. Two. There goes bull. There goes bull. Piece. It's a failed cock here. Should roll over. Let's see. Eddie Holiday? Not a failed cock. CEP. Damn it. It's TSS watching that 640 level. Okay. I mean, it shot up 30 cents twice and back down in a millisecond. Zero chance to respond. Okay. Just get me out with some kind of profit, please. Thank you. It's disgusting. Great idea. What the hell was that, though? Got a 1458 level from yesterday on this bull. Still nothing. I mean, there's that Tesla short. How's that not going? There it goes. This has got a lot of room if it wants it. Well, For- Okay. Just chalking this up to the boss here. Tesla 1 minute cuck. VIX is still rising. Car attack. Where at? Copenhagen. IVF with some juice up to 307 and then down. Oh. Don't cuck. Or should Phil? Go break to 78. That's what we really want. That Phil. Oh my gosh. Are we green? Barely. Jeez, this morning sucks. CEP is getting really tight. Slight volume. Definitely over like this peak here, I'd be interested. Bollinger Bands are squeezing this range, so we should get a move out of this pretty soon. Beer count slowly rising. Now we're in the average zone right now. And Stocky's back in town, so we don't have his viewer bump. We're back in the norms. Given to fly. 56 months. I see you, homie. I don't want to hear it.
If the Maple Leafs lose against the Sens, I am gonna rage quit.
I don't want to hear it. Your team hasn't gotten dicked by the referees in your series, all right? $0.50 spread. Jeez. A lot of vegans. Tesla cratering. $0.50 spread on this is so hard. Roger that, Chiefs. This is true. Watching this ODD and CEP, they're both very light volume. I want to see this bid over 31. Very spiky there. Starbucks still juicing. JH? No. Bull coming back to the highs. break that 50. What's going on here? Oh! Boeing? Trying to turn me on, cheese. STSX juice. STSS, I meant. What's the backstop on Boeing? I don't see the headline yet. You will. Of course. There it is, Navarro. Others are willing to buy Boeing jets. China won't take. CEP getting some tails here. Watch for that high day break. Is there any levels above it? Got room to like 3250 almost. There's more? All right. Holy shit balls. 32. 13. Okay. Bullshit fills. I have to exit. We already cracked 32, which is what I was looking for. I gotta wait for another setup on it. Starbucks is just does not care, does it? It's a nice cuck and go on Starbucks. QFI. Others are willing to. We need to have Boeing's back. Oh, that is kind of a big deal. YB IPO? What is that? Tell me. Goldman Sachs, Asia, and Citigroup are the underwriters of this YB. A lot of SPACs today. Interesting. All right, that's the only IPO worth a darn. Where are we at? $100. Slow. It's a very slow morning. Damascus. Yep. ODD, 5-minute cut, coming back up. What's that flat top break? If it gets there. CEP in our price target of 32.50. Above that, my next level is 32.85-ish. $7.12 on. STSS is getting close to some daily levels here. You get over that 712, could get juicy. MLGO red to green. WNW has a nice level at around 250. You gonna try for it here, bud? I don't know if today's drop is a specific headline or not. We were at a pretty big resistance area on the overall market. It'd be kind of weird to just break through that first attempt, honestly. Especially with so many things that just could poop us at any second. What are we doing here? STSS coming back up. Yeah, I'm really trying to get a look on this for that 712 break. It's kind of sloppy, but it's grinding its way there. One more flush out or something, I don't know. Did he say $270 million Napster sale? Is that a lot? Is that a thing still? Great fill, E-Turd. Great fill. Go get the 52-week highs. We're right there. You gave me a great fill. Reward me. Reward my loin. No! You're right there, you bastard. There's 56 of 3. Taking some off. Not really the break I was looking for here. STS set. Going for it. There's your break. Just gonna take this off. See if we can hold the 712 or whatever it was. There it goes. Where are we at now? Are we at 500? All right, got $500. This is AREB. Hello. CEP break-in levels again. Stuff is really light volume right now. Tesla VWAP. Nice work, Eagle Eye. Hey, I'm a complete beginner to trading. What's the right place where I can learn basic stuff? Here, for sure, this is a great place. Watching people do it is the best way to learn. And then being in a community that allows you to ask questions and that will answer your questions is also a massive benefit, which is what we do. This is what you got to do, man. You got to figure out what kind of trader you are. So yeah, if you're a beginner trader, these are the things you have to do. You have to, one, figure out what kind of trader you are. Are you a swing trader? Are you a day trader? Are you an investor? Meaning you hold for a very long time. You just throw money into an account and you don't even look at it? Or like, what kind of trader are you? You trading the 1 minute charts? Or you trading the 15-minute charts? What kind of trader are you? From there, you're going to come up with strategies that are based around that time frame. You're going to learn candlestick patterns. You're going to learn what candlesticks mean. You're going to learn what support and resistance areas. And then from there, you're just going to branch out. All this stuff can be found on YouTube. You don't need to pay anybody to do it. And after that, after you get some strategies down that you've been practicing on paper, we're not using real money while we're practicing, right? We're paper trading this entire time. Once you get some things down, you feel like, oh, I'm making some fake money here. I'm doing pretty good. Boom. Now you're going to go into real money and you start all over again from the beginning of being a baby. Because now you got to learn the hardest part of trading. You have to learn the emotional side of trading. That's the hardest part. What does it feel like when you get that rush from a green trade? Or do you go insane when you make a red trade? Do you start going hostile on your account? Do you blow things up in your account? You have to manage your emotions. You're learning the emotional side of trading. When you start trading with real money, you start trade with one share to start. If you're doing okay, you're implementing your strategies, your stop losses, all that, then you go to 2 shares, then 5, then 10, then 20, 25, 30, 50, 75, 100. At any time, your heart starts pumping out of your chest, boom, you knock it down your shares to where it doesn't affect you anymore. And that is your roadmap to becoming a trader. And even after you've done all that, you'll still make mistakes. And you just have to deal with it. Video. Is this the White House stuff? What I bought Farcoin. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says, I'm certain we can manufacture chips onshore with resources of our country. Okay. Jensen's already on CNBC. That's quick. So groovy. In the year 2034. Well, he didn't say resources. He didn't say unless you look at people as a resource. Or cheese. Is AI going to replace all those fancy engineers, huh? JH down Pony. ODD. It's trying. That took a shit, didn't it? Jeez. Pull down. It's hanging out if it's sold. I feel like Starbucks, whenever it gaps down, like the same day or the next day, it will close that gap. Like almost every time. I dream about building an ice cave when I move to the farm. It's gonna be awesome. Create ice blocks when winter's full swing. Place underground lasts all summer. I can't wait. Free AC. Oh my gosh. All right, potty break. Be right back. Put a little benzene going for you guys. And trade exchange.
Remember, taking a peek at your crude oil report, we expected a build of 400,000. Crude oil coming in with a draw of 2.69 million.
Crude was a draw of 2.96 million versus a build of 390,000 expected. Distillates build of 937,000 versus a draw of 1.71 million expected. Gasoline, a draw of 4.003 million versus a draw of 1.08 million expected.
Ticker CEP, Charlie Echo Papa. Sure see any spike in activity, new highs. CEP.
Mexican President Scheinbaum says U.S. easing of tariffs on the auto sector is a step forward, a recognition of the North American trade agreement. SBUX Starbucks at the high of the day, intraday high, Sandy Bravo Uniform X-ray, following their earnings report yesterday. Starbucks share is still down about 6.5%, but moving here to new highs intraday on SBUX. PLTR, Palantir at the highest now, Papa Lima Tango Romeo. AWK, American Waterworks, increasing its dividend to 82.75 cents per share quarterly. That's up 8.2%. That's Alpha Whiskey Kilo.
Now, ticker PDD, Papa Delta Delta. Note JCap Research is out with a short report for PDD. That shows a PDD seeing a spike in activity on a short report. That's reporting from JCap Research. How will Chinese companies survive this new tariff regime? We believe at least one of these companies will be hobbled. Mentions PDD on that. Ticker RGC, Romeo Golf, Charlie. Sure seeing a bump in activity, new highs. Relatively light volume in the name with notable price action, RGC.
All right, I miss anything? I don't know. I don't know what kind of market we're in yet. There's still a lot of headline risk. Feel like as soon as one deal gets announced and made, then the market's gonna be like, oh, we know what these deals are gonna look like now. And then it'll respond whether it likes it or not. RGC, jeez. Oops. $100. At a time we'd be heading into a recession, some Beyonce tickets are selling under $80. Yeah, well, I looked at AC/DC tickets yesterday, and they're going for 200. So I didn't even know they were touring. AC/DC in Detroit tonight. Gosh, that would be amazing, huh? ODD, very interesting chart here. Still playing around with this 52-week high level. They're still alive. Yeah, they're still epic. Recession, huh? We really kind of, honestly, if we're gonna get prices back to normal, we need a full-on like 2008, and we ain't gonna get it right now. Like, that's the problem. That's why we're getting this stagflation. Is inflation, yes, it's coming down, but prices are still stuck at inflated levels. So we got this stagflation crap. Inflation's low, price is high. Yeah, we kind of, as much as it would suck, that's kind of what we need.
YB IPO is open now. Yankee Bravo.
YB open.
Shares at $23.83, priced at $15.
Wow. Halted already? Jeez. Well, it's not a greed thing. It's people aren't forced to take a loss. People aren't forced to spend their money. Like, stagflation is like a stock ticker with no volume. That's basically it. I'm gonna fly 10x. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that thing. Someone mentioned yesterday that they're filing for bankruptcy. So was this a spinoff just so this park could go bankrupt? Like, I don't understand what's going on. It seemed like a really low market cap company that is pretty big. I don't know. Yeah, Mad, that's right for sure. We still have inflation. It's just not as bad. Prices aren't what the retail person, not us. Let's not even call it retail. What mom and pop don't understand is they hear that inflation's coming down, but they're like, the prices are so high still. They don't understand that it's not the same thing. But 6 figures. So we want to jump off a cliff. That's insane for a doctor. The doctor of soils. ODD price compression. Still watching it. Volume sucks, but it's still there. Yeah, the rate of increase is slowing. Exactly. Well, I know we all understand it, but mom and pop, moms and dads out there, they're just kind of clueless. CEP with the juice. Damn. Getting close to that 39.29, huh? Isn't this the one that drops like $5 in a minute? You got to be real careful on it. Don't get FOMO on this one, because it can bite you in the ass. It's going to break 38 here, isn't it? Hidden buyer at 37.99. Holy jeez, it's going to break it. There it is. We need real color on UPS 20K layoffs. They gave those raises. cuts. If it's robots, we need to know the real deal. Well, the thing that's going to put UPS drivers out of a job is going to be aerial, I think, which would be in the robot category, I guess. Look at this move. This is remarkable. Once they get that hammered out, where they just have a truck full of freaking drones pull up into like the middle of a neighborhood, one person just loading each drone up, boom, open the hatch, the drones just all over the neighborhood, drop a package off, come back, load the packages up again, boom, 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 take off again. Their job's going to be quick. And if it really gets efficient, you won't need the truck driver. You just do it right from the warehouse. Probably save a lot of battery juice if they did it via truck, though. Shooting those things. Well, that's illegal, so. No, except drone swarms in their neighborhoods. Well, you could be like Walmart where they parachute it in. And Walmart have the parachute version on the package. I could see that being a thing too. There's YB. Holy jeez. Delivered to your roof. Real deal was well anti-gravity drone. Okay, well. That's a ways off. Apple and Gemini? Yeah, I do think anti-gravity is a little far off. First, the military is going to have it. If and when. Then they're going to have that for 50 years before it ever comes out to retail. Just like GPS. Savages. Tic tac. CP. Is this a W? No. 39.29. YB. TikTok is out of this recession. Oh, jeez. I'm drinking, for all you Gary Brecka haters out there, I'm drinking his amino acids right now. Still waiting on my hydrogen water tablets. I tell you what, I've done back to Gary Brecka and the red light, since I don't go outside. The red light therapy has helped my eye tremendously, and I've only done it twice. It is noticeably less blurry. Tic Tac? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the military video of the item it was tracking, then just gone? Is that the one you're referring to? Indecision time. All right. Tesla cock and go potential. Put pants on. So funny. Where are we at? $500 today? No, I do remember your yellow line. You're freaking big. Listen, cheese. When you're that clear, I understand what you're talking about. I literally looked up to my ES chart when you said that. Doesn't mean I ain't gonna take a trade. $25K? This ain't gonna break right away, is it? Is it? Holy shit, it is. Go for 40. Hot damn. What a juicer. Stops me up. Okay, that was a better trade. TER Banyan Hill. Can they pump stocks? Oh. Guess so. Take it. Beta check with that one. I'll put us over 1,000. Let's go. Let's go. CLBR about to go daily cock. 4 weeks you're leaving? Where are you going? Another vacation? Didn't you just get off vacation? Dollar spread on this joker. CEP 1 minute. Gone till August. Where are you going this time, bud? Sell in May and go away, huh? Colorado, nice. Get out of your house. cabinet meeting right now. We are turning that on. Probably a bunch of just 100-day blah 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 stuff that we saw from yesterday, but maybe we'll get some juice. Tesla's freaking juice in here. YB halted down. Okay.
Come on.
It's been a long, strange trip.
Let's go, Rip. 57. And we're just getting started, bud. ODD going for it. Last high day break did pretty good. Market dump time. That cabinet meeting hasn't started yet, so I imagine we'll get some fireworks there. Again, it's probably going to be all like a rundown of which each person did in the first 100 days. That's my guess. There it goes. So YB. GRRR. PFE salty. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what tariffs, if any, hit the drug industry. WD still going. Yeah, that YB is kind of a nothing burger. Spready. Volume's already slack on it. I don't know. Just doesn't interest me. Bull trying to get over VWAP. RGC resume. What a move, man. Soils, good luck. May the force be with you. CEP. Yeah, I don't like the pullback though. We pulled back deeper than the last support area. Yeah, this would be, some people would say backside. I need a longer setup for me to take this 5-minute. If it was looking more like this, then yeah, but since we've come back down and we've made a lower high and a lower low, it feels a little bit, and we're breaking some of these levels from the ride up. Kind of feels like the ride down right now. Maybe we consolidate around VWAP and change direction again. Watch BA. No, it hasn't started yet. Nope, it is started.
Illegal border crossings ever recorded. The number of illegal border crossings released into the United States is down 99.999%.
So loud.
That is usually 100%. So I think it's an amazing tribute. And Christy, congratulations, and Tom and everybody else. It's an amazing job, actually. And it was done very quickly. we officially designated Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and we're expelling these monsters from our country rapidly and working with the Department of Justice. Pam, you're doing fantastic. Your people are amazing. We're having some judge problems that everybody's reading. We're having some judges that don't like, killers, murderers being thrown out of the country. So I don't know what their problem is, but we have a little difficulty. We won on the basis of a great border and of getting criminals out of our country. That was why we won every
EADSY,
swing state.
Airbus
We
expects
won
to
by
deliver
millions
about
of votes.
820
We
commercial
won
aircraft
everything.
in
Every
2025,
metric
sees
we won by a
2025
lot.
adjusted
It was
EBIT
a
of around
massive victory.
7 billion euros.
We won, I think, largely because of this issue.
Airbus
right?
says
But
guidance
this
excludes
issue is
impact
number
of
one issue.
tariffs, reporting
And
Q1
they
revenue
don't
of
want us to do what we're
13.54 billion
supposed to do.
euros.
Members, Trump is
versus the
currently
12.95
speaking that
billion
link in the news
euro
desk.
estimate.
Fully understand what's going on. We have to
Ticker
get the
NGD,
criminals out of
November
the
Golf,
country.
Delta,
That's
shares seeing a bump in
the basis
activity,
of
new
which we
highs. No
won the
circulations, a
election.
technical
That's
Core
breakout.
The
GDP,
Sandy Yankee.
NGD.
And this is, you probably saw some numbers today. And I have to start off by saying that's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is quarterly numbers. And we came in and I was very against everything that Biden was doing in terms of the economy, destroying our country in so many ways. Not only at the border was more obvious, but we took over his mess in so many different ways. Core GDP, removing distortions from imports, inventories, and government spending, was up plus 3% when you add it. We had numbers that, despite what we were handed, we turned
He
them
said
around.
that
and we're
traders were
getting them
mentioning
really
it.
turned
He's,
around.
he's said that before.
Gross domestic investment was a whopping 22%. Now, that is a number that people are coming in at numbers. For instance, I just walked in, I heard Samsung is now, because of the tariffs, they're going to build massive facilities in the United States. If we didn't do the tariffs, they wouldn't be doing that. So it takes a little while to get those facilities built, but they're coming in with big, big numbers. They're all coming in with big numbers.
Big, beautiful
We
numbers.
have more money being spent than at any time in the history of our country. We're up to close to $8 trillion, I think I can say. And really, it's going to be a lot higher than that. Those are just the ones that we know about. 8 trillion. I'm not going to say, but I'm not sure if Biden did $1 trillion for 4 years, 1 trillion. But we're at 8 trillion for 2 months, because let's give us a pass on the first month. We were sort of getting a little bit used to things, right? But after 2 months, we have $8 trillion. There's never been a number like that. And that includes chip companies, car companies, every form of manufacturing, high-tech companies. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So $8 trillion. I can talk about gross domestic product, gross domestic investment. I can talk about a lot of things, but to me, the biggest numbers, the kind of numbers that are, and these people are coming in. Our Secretary of Commerce spent the weekend. He went down to Arizona to see what was happening with the biggest chip company in the world. And he said, Howard, he said, you've never seen anything like it. You want to just describe what you saw?
So they're investing $165 billion in 1,100 acres
You're talking about Apple?
in Arizona, and they're building the highest tech chip manufacturing, semiconductors, and
TSMC?
4,000 employees. You know, American tradecraft, right? Technicians doing every kind of work. The classic foundation of America is building it. They had 14,000 people. They're expecting 40,000 people to build the rest of their plants and to employ 20,000 people for the rest of the time.
And
This
you
is
never-
all driven,
You never saw a site like that.
and this is all driven by your tariff policies. No chance this be happening without you.
It's going to be about 40% of the chip market from that one section, and this is the biggest chip maker. They have 99% of the market.
Who is he
They
talking
come
about?
from Taiwan,
Oh,
and unlike the CHIP
TSMC,
Act,
huh?
which was done by Biden, where they hand everybody billions of dollars, the thing they don't need is money. They got plenty of money. What they need is an incentive to come in, and the tariffs, they're building because of the tariffs. If without the tariffs, and I like to say they're building because of November 5th,
TSMC.
the election,
I
and
know
the
Intel
tariffs.
was
But
built there, but
I'm going to be a little more blunt. They're building because of the
I don't
tariffs.
think they were talking
and
about
November
Intel.
5th gave them the tariffs. So it's amazing when you look. And these are not companies that go out and say, well, we're going to build. We have to go get our financing. like we would in New York, everybody would look, you get a building site and then you'd look around for money, you'd look around for financing for 6 months, you'd get your financing, you'd build your building, the market would be good, you'd make money, the market would be bad, it wouldn't be so pretty, you'd have to negotiate, blah, blah, blah. This is different. These
Remember
people
seeing
have so
a
much
drop
money, they
in
don't know what to
crude
do.
oil
Yeah.
circulation.
Yes,
Some
Howard,
Reserve,
did they
reserve.
finance it? No, they do it through
I
cash.
can't even
and-
Reuters
understand
They
the
say
report
that
difference
site-
of oil
Saudi
prices.
Arabia
started,
officials in
you know,
recent weeks
they
have
just
briefed
announced it like a month
allies,
ago, and
industry
they've already
experts
started.
that
He
keep
said,
them
"I've never
can
seen a site
sustain
like it so
prolonged
big."
period of low oil
So,
prices.
you're talking about essentially a $50 billion building. Now, if you build a warehouse for $50 million,
The timing
that's a
of
big
this
warehouse, Scott. But a $50 billion building, that's a lot. They're building the electric, they've become a utility. And I'm giving them the right to become. They're going to build their own electric.
The
they're gonna build
games
their
they
own
play.
Electricity, which they need tremendous amounts of electricity. They're going to build it themselves. Anything they have left over, they'll hook that into the
11:42
grid.
a.m.
But the grid is old and they're unreliable and bad things can happen to grids. I said, if you want, you can hook into the grid, but that's a little bit risky. Or you can build your own electricity and become your own utility. And they, I think in all cases, are deciding to do that. So it's very exciting and we have a lot of things going. We took over on January 20th. These are quarterly reports. We took over on January 20th. The tariffs haven't kicked in yet. I know that, and I don't want this to happen, but I know that China is doing very poorly right now. I just saw some reports coming out, and I don't want that to happen to China. I like the president a lot, President Xi. I don't want it to happen. I was actually saddened to hear it, but they are getting absolutely hammered in China. And, they're sending boats, the biggest boats in the world, carrying cargo like nobody's ever seen before. These are the biggest boats in the world, biggest cargo ships in the world. And they're coming and they're turning around in the Pacific Ocean. They're doing a big U-turn and going back because they don't want the goods because 145% tariff. But at a certain point, I hope we're going to make a deal with China. We're talking to China, but their factories are closing all over China because we're not taking their product. We don't want their product.
The algos
unless they're gonna
move
be
off
fair
of
with
that.
us.
Hope
And
to
that
make a deal with
includes
China.
intellectual
At
property
some,
and other
he said
things. There are
at
a
some
lot of
point
things
make
far
a deal.
beyond just
Make a deal
buy,
with China.
sell.
Hope to make a deal with China.
So we'll see what
Algos
happens.
just shooting
but, I
Nvidia up
was
right now.
not, because somebody said, well, were you happy? I said, I am not happy. I want China to do well. I want every country to do well.
Now
But they have to treat us
headlines
fairly
on
also. So with that,
Trade
I think
Exchange.
we're going to maybe go
Benzinga.
around and we have some letters where
They are
the
running with that. Look at that move.
secretaries and
Shares of
people around
Boeing
the
ticking
table
to
are
the pre-market high
making
now.
statements about
Trump
how
says
they're
at a
doing
certain
and what's
point,
happening,
hope for
and I
a
could
deal
start
with
Pete
China.
Airbus
on
earnings
the
report.
left because he's my least controversial person at the No, they don't know how good he is. So we'll go around the table and you can hear it. And these are cabinet meetings where they're very open and transparent. And I can guarantee you Biden didn't do this.
President
That he
Trump
didn't do this.
said
Go
at a
ahead,
certain
Pete.
point,
Mr.
hope for a
President,
deal with
I think
China.
controversial
Fairness with
because we're all
China
over the target.
includes
And
IP.
Like so many things, Mr. President,
US
you
is
inherited a
tanking.
demoralized military that couldn't recruit, that was perceived as weak after what happened in Afghanistan and elsewhere because of Joe Biden. And what we have seen since your election and the inauguration has been nothing short of a recruiting renaissance. Decades, it hasn't been decades since we've seen this kind of recruiting in the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force. The men and women of America want to join the United States military led by President
Is he
Donald
wearing a
Trump.
And the
camo
police,
tie?
by the way.
Yes.
And fire. I always mention the fire, but the police and fire.
The
but
Pope.
The police and fire likewise. Are,
Good hit. I'm
we
always
have
off
waiting
center.
lists
Good
now,
hit.
And 6 months ago was a disaster. Go ahead.
Truly historic. We can barely absorb the volume and retention as well. Men and women in the military who don't want to get out now that they have a real commander-in-chief. We're reinforcing standards.
come on.
Fit, not fat, in our formations. We welcome back all the folks that were forced out because of the COVID mandate. We ripped wokeness out of the military, sir, DEI, trans, and it's Fort Benning and Fort Bragg again. And
Crude
we,
selling off here.
We're
shortly
rebuilding the
now.
military, sir. The Golden Dome is well underway. F-47, reassuring allies and deterring enemies. We found nearly $6 billion in DOGE savings that we're going to
Crude
reinvest.
hitting
including $50 billion from the
58.63
Biden
at the
administration
lows.
focused on things like climate that have nothing to do with lethality. and
There's the
war
golden ball.
fighting. And we will have, as you said,
Cover me with your balls.
on behalf of our warfighters.
Oh,
From day one, sir, we've gotten helped get 100% operational control of the border, coming alongside DHS and CBP. We've got 11,000 troops on the border who
Doge
now,
is
because of the
probably
new
like,
national defense area,
that was
sir,
$6
can
billion
help
in savings.
detain
That doesn't mean we
illegals at the border and hand them over
we
to
go say
CBP.
we
It
spend
used to
it.
be if you saw camouflage on the border,
That means
they
it's
could
not
hold
savings
binoculars.
anymore.
And that's it. And
what
now
do we do?
we can detain and assist, and we are. We're going to get 100% operational control of that border. Our NATO allies know they have to step up. The Houthis in the Middle East are feeling the weight of American power, and we're deterring communist China. So because of your leadership, sir, I believe we're making the military great again. And I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter. Howard?
So I have the pleasure of running the Investment Accelerator, which gets to recruit these companies. And you've never seen anything like the companies committed to building in America. Technology companies have committed over $2.5 trillion to build in America based on your tariffs, right? Sovereign countries all backing, the whole Middle East and all these countries backing their sovereign wealth funds. They all want to invest in America, and they're coming in, again, over $3 trillion committed. So just those two topics, you're at $5.5 trillion, and then you've got the whole pharma industry knows
got
it's got to
beat
come
up on
home
that one,
because
Stock?
America pays for all the drugs of the world. So the pharmaceuticals have to come home, right? Autos coming home, industrials coming home. So, you know, we've got to train, and your great Secretary of Labor together and Secretary of Education together, we're going to train the workforce to build America. It's unbelievable. We've got so much, as I travel around, the attention on the Trump Gold Card. I mean, it makes me very popular.
Mass
Last
attack
night,
starts in
I was out to dinner, and
5,
someone came up and said,
4, all right, you know
"Can I buy
what?
10?"
Trump's getting it too,
Can I buy
not just
10?
me.
I'm like,
All right,
pretty good.
Mass
$50
attack.
billion for dinner.
you're
So,
getting hit,
you know,
Trump.
Road and bridge money or rail money that you're actually following the law, which includes executive orders from you. Mr.
Demjin, I
President.
can only.
We're
It's
cutting back
a
funding.
Twitch add-on.
We said research
It's
money
not a
to
standalone
universities
thing.
to do
So
research
Kick doesn't have
on,
that.
more equitable and sustainable transportation systems. Projects that'll use data and public opinion to inform policy and infrastructure and technology benefiting diverse communities, including women and gender non-conforming people. Just stupid wastes of money. We're pulling that money back from universities. We should do good research. If we do research in
But
universities.
I'm magically
And then
figuring
one
out
last
how to
thing,
throw stuff right now.
Air traffic control. We don't have enough air traffic controllers, about 3,000 short. We're working on an agreement with
Funny how
the
everyone
union, so when
magically figured out how to throw
controllers
stuff right now.
become retirement eligible,
Cleaner
we're gonna cut
stream.
deals to
Yeah, I
try
don't
to
know.
get them to stay longer.
It's just an
Stay
add-on
longer.
that's built
And then we have a
into.
plan to put more butts in seats.
I don't think
in Oklahoma.
Kick
But
has-
petroleum oil stocks continue to sell off. New lows for ExxonMobil.
In the towers as well. So
I
it
don't
takes us
think
a while to do that.
Kick has
Train them
add-ons.
up, but
Period.
We're in the
If I'm not
process
mistaken.
before our 4 years are done. Well before that, we're gonna be at full capacity.
Jeez, Luke.
I think we have to bring it up. We have very obsolete equipment for air traffic controllers. The equipment, the towers have horrible equipment. It's been renovated for years.
Too soon,
The money
maybe.
they spent over the last 4 years.
Jeez.
Buttigieg did a horrible job. They wasted billions and billions of dollars hooking up wire equipment to non-wire equipment to satellite equipment, and a third-grade student would know it doesn't work.
Yeah, the
That
ticker,
work.
well, it'll be
They
small
wasted
because of.
tens of billions of dollars.
I mean, it's just small.
But
Period.
we want to put a brand new air traffic control system in, and you might want.
This is where you probably have the
This-
best
you and I have
chance
talked
of
about this.
seeing
It's
it.
a state-of-the-art system, envy of the world, and it's. I mean, listen, our system is safe, but you would have hoped someone would have seen
SBAV
that
movie?
there's a problem with fixed-wing
CP
aircraft and
again.
helicopters coming in at DCA. Someone should have seen that before we lost almost 70 lives. It's our job to look and see that we have an aging infrastructure around air traffic control. And so, if we don't build a brand new system, there's going to be failures and people will lose their lives. And so, we need the help of Congress to
Broke
help
both
fund
ways
this.
today
But
at 200.
it's going to be
The
all
bitch.
brand new. And after you build a brand new system, we have the bedrock and the foundation to actually build on top
Report
of it. No one has
on
done this, Mr.
crude.
President. There's band-aid fixes that have
Reuters
happened over the
report
course of 20 years.
says
You
Saudi
can't have a
Arabia
Band-Aid
signals it
fix.
can live
It
with
doesn't
lower
get
oil
done.
prices.
It has to be brand new. The technology
was
is-
from
it looks
Reuters.
like it's out of a 1980s movie. Old computers, floppy disks,
We're using copper wires, not fiber. So there are great solutions we have available. That, and by the way, everyone's sick of their delayed flights or their canceled flights.
Saudi Arabian officials
We have
briefing
more
allies and
capacity
industry
in the
experts to say the
airspace.
kingdom is
And
unwilling
if
to
we-
prop up
if
the oil
we
market
rebuild-
with further
not
the
rebuild, we
supply
build this brand new
cuts.
system,
You're going
and
to
can help
Asia
ease the
for
long
a
period of
month.
low
Where are you
prices.
going?
We'll be safer. So the economy will be stronger. We can have more flights and less delays. So
That's
I
according to
appreciate you
Reuters
saying
sources.
that.
Rebuilding that is very important. You wouldn't
Crude
have had the
continuing to hit new
helicopter
lows
crashing
now.
into the
50.
Everybody's leaving for May,
400
except
feet
me.
up.
I'm stuck
14.
here in my
Supposed to be
mom's
200
basement,
feet. That would have
making fat
bells
stacks.
and whistles would have been gone over, and you would have heard the screaming equipment saying, "There's a problem coming up in 15 seconds. You got to do something about it right now." And it would have also sent the word right into the helicopter.
Discs.
Because I guess you'll be doing the full report on that, but it was
That better
pretty
not be
obvious
true.
what happened. And there was supposed to be a
'Cause that
200
is
feet, there were
incredibly
400
sad.
feet, and a terrible thing. And that wouldn't have happened if we had the right equipment. If we had the right equipment, you would have heard bells and whistles going
Yeah,
off,
so
and it
it's
would
just
have alerted
tanking.
long before that would have happened. 2 minutes before.
ODD hiding.
Crude now falling
So we
below
have to do this. We have no
$58,
choice.
$57.99 the
We're
low.
going to be very proud of it. They did old equipment.
Members
new
watching crude
equipment,
oil hitting
and
new
you can't hook
lows
in
of the
old
day.
equipment to new equipment
Following those
because
earlier
it's
headline
some is
circulations
satellite
out
and
by
some is
Reuters
ground.
via social
If
media
the satellite doesn't
regarding
work,
Saudi
Cisco does
Arabia,
better than
we
anybody.
are
You
seeing
can't
new
hook up a
lows
satellite
on
system
crude
to a
oil.
ground wire
Oil
system.
down 3.8%
And, if you
on
do,
the
you're
day.
wasting a lot of money. They spend billions. This is Buttigieg. They spent billions and billions of dollars trying to patch a system together. They had hundreds of different contractors, and the contractors were all fighting with each other. We're going to have one great big contractor.
Beautiful
Great, big,
contractor.
beautiful build, which is going along very well. I guess I like great, big, beautiful, but we're going to have one great, big, beautiful contractor, whether it's maybe Raytheon,
I tell you
maybe
what,
IBM,
if they pull off the
maybe, it could
no
be
tax
any one
on
of 4 or
overtime,
5 different groups, but
that's going to be pretty
we put
awesome.
one in charge. They're very big, very powerful monetarily.
That's a marijuana
And they
note
give you
coming out.
guaranteed, they hook
Trump's
up
pick to
everything,
lead
every
DEA
single
as
thing.
marijuana
So they're
reschedule review
responsible
will
for the
be
digging of
one
the
of my
ditches
first
and the
priorities on the
fiber,
job. Here's an
every
MSOS
single
RCD
element.
spike in
And there's
activity.
one system that's hooked in. It's
There you
not,
go. Juice
all
it.
these hodgepodge
Juice it.
systems that don't work together. And it's just a
When did he
shame.
just say that?
I mean, it's basic construction. But it's
Members watching
complex
these
stuff,
cannabis
and
names,
there
keep in
are
mind we've been seeing a
few
lot of these
companies
headlines
Just
a
one
lot
MSOS
lately.
goes deep here.
well, and we're going to have them.
Posted
So,
again, Trump's pick to lead.
good
Trump's
job, John.
pick
I
to
know
lead
that's your-
DEA
that's
says
your big
marijuana
project.
rescheduling review
There's
will be one of my
continuous spike
first
for
priorities
MSOS
on the
new
job.
high.
That's posted in the news desk. Seeing volatility yet again in these cannabis names.
Well,
just
ours
made
is
it.
going to be an all
Killing!
hookup. It's going to be the same tower is going to have the same equipment, and all towers all over the country, all over the world actually, mostly, are going to be hooked in together. And when there's a problem, when planes are too close, you will hear a sound that's very
So I'm in
ear-shattering.
MSOX, which is a
I've heard it.
leveraged play
And
against
it's amazing.
MSOX.
I mean, honestly, it's amazing. It's real genius stuff. And
90,
we didn't do
holy
that. What we did was
fudge
just waste money.
suckle.
You could have just thrown it right out the
Marijuana
window. What
Moment
they
Review
did,
would be one of my
what
first
they did in
priorities
this
at
last
John.
4 years
Nice.
was disgraceful. Whether it was the border or this, you can name
Beta
100
Chuck
different things.
with
Worst
the hottie!
administration ever. Okay. Thank you.
I got it. I'm going to tell Beta Chuck in the high beta squawk right now
Thank you.
that I
And
want to
think
have his
one of the
baby.
things that I want people to understand about the VA is we're part of the national security interests you have, and you've laid the groundwork for that with leadership and making sure that with the Secretary of Defense and myself, we take care of veterans on 2 ends. One when they come in, and one when they served and have earned the benefits that we have. And one of the things is if we're not doing our job on our end, then the recruitment and all goes down on the other end because we have a full spectrum. That's what leadership is about. What we found, speaking the last 4 years, is we found an administration that wanted to throw money and people at problems, but they didn't want to put leadership in. They just put money and people at it, and we saw wait times stay the same. We saw issues of suicide rates, death by suicide, not change. We saw a homelessness issue barely go down. We saw disability claims skyrocket when you took place over 250,000 back dislodge, which we're already bringing down almost 40,000 so far just in the last couple of months. But we've also put back what you and I was in Congress.
You need to see
when this
that
happened.
volume
That's
spike
it.
up
Mission
again, or you're
Active
going to pull
front and
back here.
center At the VA, we're actually doing community care. We're actually giving the veteran the choice that they've earned and they've deserved, whether they can get their VA care inside our facilities or in the community. It's their choice. It's VA care. We're going to give them the highest quality care wherever they want to go. Also, we're expanding out options
That 200 right
and
here.
others
It's
for those that are new, or
318.
experimenting and looking at new counseling ideas, all new drug techniques that we can help with PTSD, TBI, the things that are affecting our veterans.
New drug
right now.
techniques? Does that
But
mean
also, we've taken
psychedelics?
leadership to take
Keep
people
an
and bring them
ear
back
to the
into
ground on
work.
that one.
They're actually communicating. They're back in our offices. We put thousands of people back in. We're processing more claims daily than we were in the last little bit. Hit 1 million before has ever happened, and we're actually bringing it down. And I've actually taken our deputy secretary, and he is actually handling a strike force now to bring down that disability claim, plus our regular work that we're having done. We've also taken almost $300+ million and taken it out of contracts that we've all heard about so far. We were doing contracts for meeting notes and PowerPoints. And if our folks didn't know how to do meeting notes and PowerPoint, go online and learn yourself. We're not going to pay for it anymore. And we took $360 million and put it back into community care and also our health records management system that we have. We've opened 6 new facilities just in the last little bit so all the media who wants to talk about how we're hurting healthcare, we just opened 6 new facilities. By the way, thank you. You're welcome. As we go from that we've continued.
Can you get over this
We've also
320
took
MSOS?
$11.6 billion in ceiling values of contracts and terminated that we did not need,
Cracked
resulting in
it.
significant cost avoidance for the future, but also still maintaining the ability to take care of our patients and also our disability benefits. We've also gotten unity again. We did away with $14 million in DEI spending. We've ended gender dysphoria treatments. We phased that out. All directed, the savings from that go to paralyzed veterans and amputees. We've also continued
this cuck does.
to work
It's the
toward
first
issues,
cuck.
in anti-Semitism and also anti-Christian bias that we saw. The biggest thing, though, Mr. President, I wanted to state is you told me when you said for me to take this job, you said take care of my veterans. Well, we've done something in taking that step forward. The veteran is back first at the VA. The VA is not about itself anymore. We're not a self-feeding animal. It's about a service organization that takes care of one of the best we have, and that's our veterans. And that one, Mr. President, we're just getting started.
MSOS,
How are you doing
cannabis
with the
ETF
suicide
popping
rate?
here.
We're
Michael
getting
Sandy, Oscar
it's
Sandy.
Do a
tough,
1
Mr.
minute
President. That's
does.
something that we're looking at. This is something that we've had $588 million has been spent over the last 4 or 5 years to be prevention, and yet the numbers stayed at 17 or 21, wherever you want to have it. We're now opening that back up, taking in nonprofits, we're bringing in others who have things that are actually looking at. I've worked with Secretary Kennedy and others on the idea of we're opening up the possibility of psychedelic treatment and others that give us an opportunity. We got to research it, make sure it's good, but it's opening up that possibility. And I think, again, veterans are understanding now that we're putting them first. I'm getting,
And
when
you
I
see
go
a
to these
volume
hospitals,
spike
they're
here.
actually coming up saying thanks. We're back in where we need to be, and we're seeing a workforce develop. So suicide is going to come down. It's also going to take some transition stuff that your Secretary of Defense has been very helpful on. We've gotta
Marijuana
transfer
Moment
them out of
reporting
the
Trump's
military
pick
so
to
they
lead
come to us better.
DEA says
We'll work
marijuana
on that.
rescheduling review will be one of my first priorities on the job.
Mr. President, it may come as a surprise, but this has been the busiest 100 days in the history of the office.
In history.
In
You know, this is the biggest deal ever done. If you sold IBM, ExxonMobil, and 5 other companies together, it's peanuts compared to what we're doing. This is the biggest deal ever done financially in the history of the world.
No shares of MNND, MindMed, shares seen a spike in activity, new highs. Michael November,
That
Michael
would be the
Delta.
psychedelic
Something
play.
that Secretary Duffy said in his context, because it's complex, no one has done it. So this is something, a reordering of global trade that hasn't
To the
happened
second?
since the
Really?
end of World War II. And it's long
This is the psychedelic play that I was just referencing.
the old global
I don't know why
trading
it's shooting up now.
And the net result of the global trading system is that all the manufacturing goes to Asia and other places. That's a system you have to replace, and that's what you're doing. They said you wouldn't be able to do global tariffs. We did it. They said everyone
Unless
would
that other
retaliate.
guy
No one retaliated outside of China. They said no one would
just
have to
mentioned it
negotiate
as
with
well,
dozens of countries. They said no one would
which
have
could be the
offers.
case.
We have dozens of written offers. We have lots of countries in this week. This is like a break for me to come.
With all the countries that want to negotiate. They all want to negotiate. They want to make a deal.
Don't zoom in on this. Yeah, this is just a
Big
is like
level,
a track, right, with all
705.
these columns of which countries have come in, when we started negotiations, who gave us an offer, are we in technical talks, and when do we expect to have deals done? Those are some.
He didn't
things out
mention
there.
it.
We're working very quickly on this. Thanks to you.
Thank you, Jameson. You're going to have a lot of fun for the next 3 weeks.
Was that the same guy, the rescheduling guy? No, that's what I'm talking about, the rescheduling dude.
Mr. President, the last
I heard the
4
guy on
years,
TV
the
say
world
it.
experienced a total lack of zero
Is
leadership
it the same person?
under Biden.
I don't know.
And then we've had
I kind
100
of zoned out for a
days
second.
of your leadership with respect, with strength, starting with they'll be all hell to pay. if you don't let our people go.
No. Okay.
Dozens, over 40 Americans have come home.
White House's Greer says have dozens of written offers
Far
on
more
trade.
terrorists are no longer threatening the homeland under your leadership, pulling all of these agencies together, including the evil individual responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing, and to sit with the 13 Gold Star families, and you showing that follow-up and that justice has been incredible. But pulling this great team together, Mr. President, everything from revitalizing shipyards to cyber to space, that takes this entire team working together. It's an honor to serve you in this administration, and I think the world is far better, far safer for it.
Thank you very much. The Abbey Gate is really important. This was a horrible thing. Destroyed the image, frankly, of the Biden administration. What happened there was a disgrace. It should have never happened, and Pam is working very much on prosecuting that person. We have the person, and he'll do well. I have no doubt about it. Thank you very much, Michael. So the CIA,
ODD
I don't
with
know,
the
Radcliffe,
juice.
I don't know if he's going to say anything. He's probably the one person here that's not allowed to talk about the great job he's done, but go ahead anyway.
Mr. President, as you know, at your direction, the CIA has deployed our unique covert action authorities in various places and continents to successfully advance your national security and foreign policy
MSOS coming back down to
priorities,
Earth.
to advance peace, to end wars, to take terrorists off the battlefield, and to keep illicit drugs from coming into this country and harming Americans.
What a
Unfortunately,
juicer of
as
a
much as I
trade.
would love to detail your accomplishments in that regard, we can't do so in front of this crowd. But you and I both know, Mr. President,
I see you in there,
that
Russ.
profound positive impact on America's national security posture.
I see you in there, Russ. And high beta
What I
squawk.
can talk about publicly is, as has been mentioned, the CIA provided the intelligence that led to the apprehension of the Abbey Gate bomber, who is now being
recession.
prosecuted by our great
Who
Attorney
just threw
General
that? Was
for
that you,
providing a
Luke?
measure of justice to those 13 families
And
that suffered
Headhunter.
as a result of that disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal during the last administration. In addition, at your direction, Mr. President, the CIA has negotiated and secured
Yeah,
the
it is
release
Luke. It
of
is Luke.
Americans like Mark Fogel and Ksenia Carolina, who have been wrongfully detained, sending the message that you will forget about no Americans that are being held in other places unfairly and unjustly. And finally, Mr. President, the CIA is being restructured at your direction to focus on our core mission and to eliminate the well-documented politicization that has taken place in the intelligence community from bad actors in the
Weed
past,
map starting to move.
focus on our core mission and to make America safe again. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. President.
Good job. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Russell?
We're obviously involved in a number of budget bills that are moving, trying to make sure all of your
Big,
priorities
big,
are
beautiful
reflected
bills.
in the reconciliation. Working on our upcoming budget. Wonderful job by the entire cabinet on that front. Details soon on that front. Sending up rescissions bills to Congress for things that Elon has found. But the regulatory aspect is something we don't talk about enough. And right now, you've given us a goal of 10 for 1. We are working right now with all of the agencies to rack up how big of a deregulatory
The bell noise,
agenda
that's
that
just
we
my
can
high
have.
day ticker.
When
And
you
since
came
I
into office,
all my
you
audio
basically
from
stopped
websites come to the
$200
same.
billion in
Phil, let's
costs
go
to
2
American
months, homie.
families just by stopping the
All
Biden
my
regulatory agenda.
website
That's about
audio comes through one
2,000 per
channel, so
family.
I can't just
We think
mute it.
when we're going to hit these 10 for 1 goals, that we could be in the neighborhood of about $900 billion in savings
ignore it.
to American families. That would be substantially bigger than that $2,000 number. And the point that I would make, in addition to just savings cheaper to the American people, there's an aspect of wisdom when you're enforcing these rules that comes into play. And I'm your regulator for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and we found this small mortgage lender in Chicago. His name is Barry Sterner. He had a firm called Townstone, and CFPB had gone after him because he complained about crime in Chicago, literally the same thing that the Democrat mayor had talked about, and they came after him for 7 years on a redlining disparate impact claim, and ruined his life. We overturned that. We apologized on your behalf to that individual, and we basically, without having to go through notice and comment, we ended the policy that set that in motion. And so that's happening across these agencies with how they are using their enforcement discretion, and it will only continue based on the stone wall of backing that you've given us to make these hard calls. I don't think they're actually that hard, but no one's done it to this point, and we were able to go forward and do that because of the
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't
maybe
really
the
care.
biggest thing we're working
That
on,
deep
maybe
there.
bigger
It's a
than
car
tariffs
ride.
in a certain sense, is we call it the one big beautiful bill. And that's wielding its way right now through the Senate. And John Thune has been actually amazing. And the speaker has been so great, Congress. Mike Johnson has been really two guys that they get along great, and it's just been a beautiful unified attack, really, because we have to attack because the Democrats are trying to stop it at every turn. It would mean a 58% tax hike if they were successful, and lots of other bad things beyond the tax hike. But with us, it'll be the biggest tax cut in American history. How are we doing with the bill?
We're doing great. We're day in, day out, hour by hour negotiations to make sure your stuff is in there, and to make sure we have the border resources, the defense resources, and to save the American people some tax money and make sure all those tax cuts that you ran on are in there that help get people back into the workforce. And I think we're making a ton of progress.
Did I make massive? Nope, haven't touched that.
Like I said, the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it would be the biggest tax increase if the Democrats are successful.
It's always
They're
been
the only
50
people I've ever
or
seen
5,000.
running for office where they want to increase taxes, but this would be a 58, maybe a 60% tax increase, unsustainable for the American people. Thank you very much, great job. Susie, the most powerful woman in the world. I agree with that. I agree.
I'll be brief so you can hear from these amazing people. Congratulations to everyone on 100 days. That's been it's unparalleled in my memory and best I can tell ever. But it hasn't been busy for busy's sake. The president's promises made to the American people have been kept time and time again.
CXAI.
You all have been out there spreading the word with community groups and states and media. It hasn't gone unnoticed, and let's work hard to the next 100 and have equally as much success then. Thank you.
And you've done a great job, Susie. I think everybody agrees.
Yes.
If you have anybody that disagrees, please. Please raise your hand if you have the courage to do so. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Thank you.
It is one big
And you
circle
made it
jerk, that's for darn
Very
sure.
clear that you wanted to put America first, and also from day one, you wanted to make housing affordable again, because we do have a housing affordability crisis in our country. And so at HUD, we've been cutting all the red tape and bureaucracy as it pertains to housing affordability and unleashing creativity of our builders and developers around our country and restoring local control. We took down the affirmatively furthering fair housing rule, as you know, which was a zoning tax from Washington. So no longer will Washington be picking winners and losers, but localities and elected officials in different states and cities will have that flexibility. Also, you alluded to securing the border, and such a great job has been done with all of our partners at the table. And at HUD, we want to make sure that the resources that we have now, which is American taxpayer dollars, in the Biden administration, they prioritize illegal aliens over
Marker, I don't have 3K yet. You just freaking jinxed me though.
With Secretary Noem and DHS to make sure that HUD-funded housing only goes to American citizens, and no longer will it go to illegal aliens coming across our border. We have about 9 million people living in subsidized housing in our country. 59% of illegal alien families use some sort of welfare program, costing us $42 billion a year. And so we have prioritized American and American people only to live in
MSO, it's
funded housing. And also to make housing affordable, we also signed a partnership with Secretary Burgum at DOI to use underutilized federal lands as you campaigned on and promised to identify those lands to build affordable housing in our country so that people can
Don't
realize
laugh at
the
that.
American dream. We also restored biological truth, as you did in sports. We have the equal access rule at HUD, which we took that rule down to ensure that at women shelters, that those that enter those shelters would be
I just had a really
same-sex,
disgusting visual.
and that we would protect the ladies of our country.
I don't even want to say it, and I'm not going to, because once I say it,
as
you're
women
never going to
for
be
our
else to
numbers,
think of it
be able to enter those shelters
anything
and
else
protect the ladies
ever again.
served. Along with our Doge task force, we identified over $2 billion in savings. At HUD, $260 million at HUD.
I can't even. It's the most disgusting thing I've thought about in a
So we took those contracts
very
down,
long time, lady.
and sent back $1.9 billion back to the Treasury for the American people. Again, we want to be good stewards of the American taxpayer dollars. And so, Mr. President, thank you for your leadership in this. And we have a tremendous team at HUD, and I'm so grateful to be part of this team around this table to take care of the American people. And I consider it a great honor and humble to do so. Yes, sir.
Jeez.
Well, I'm not sure if anyone's heard, but the price of eggs is down.
Ooh, just taking some rounds out.
I know it's news.
Listen,
sir, today on
mentioning-
as we celebrate the 100th day, I think that it's just such a joy and an honor to continue to do this work. So thank you for that. We have been obviously very focused on the cost of groceries, specifically eggs led the way, as you have so eloquently discussed over the last few months, and we're holding tight on a very significant decrease, which is great, and investing where we need to there. As I mentioned before the press came in, we have had a massive issue with Mexico on water, getting water to our farmers along the border for decades. When I worked in Texas 25 years ago, we were fighting with the Mexican government over the water then. You got involved about 2 weeks ago. That evening, I started conversations, and as of just a few days ago, thanks to Secretary Rubio's great deputy secretary and I, have been negotiating, and we hit the best deal I believe in history on behalf of our farmers, and thanks to your leadership and your strength on that. And that's a really big deal long term for those farmers in the southern part of the country. On the energy side, I know we've got Secretary Burgum and his partner Secretary Wright, but we often forget that agriculture has a major piece of the energy dominance agenda, not just timber, not just minerals, but biofuels. So we continue to support that great leadership coming from those agencies and doing hopefully our part as well, and they've been incredible in that. Our
Good hit.
farmers
That's a
have
good
been
hit.
hurting.
That's a
Under the
quality
Joe
hit right
Biden
there.
administration, there was a 30% increase in the cost of input, so the cost of doing business for these farmers over those 4 years. When we left the White House the first time 4 years ago, we had a $0
I am a
trade
professional.
deficit with our agriculture products. After 4
Freaking
years
bird
of Biden,
shit
that was
and
50
go for
billion,
scares.
because they just
Still
didn't
got
make enough.
3K in it.
And so
3K.
obviously
Still
that's
got
50
3K.
billion
Still
less
got
dollars
it.
at a time of very thin profitability for
I'm
our agriculture
professional.
community. So the Congress passed because the last administration didn't get a farm bill done either. The farmers were hurting there, so Congress stepped in.
Watch
say all
this
that and
321 on
basically
MSOS.
said $10 billion
See if we get another
to
run
out.
here on pot.
USDA, fastest in history. That money went out
This
to
is
those
the weirdest
farmers that,
one.
couldn't make
I don't know
their
what this
plant their
thing
crops.
is.
And so I'm really proud of that, and you'll hear a lot of that from the
HAO,
farmers today,
Hashi
that this
Health
USDA is moving more
Technology,
quickly
share is getting some
than ever
volume here.
before.
Hotel
And
Alpha Oscar.
we're not
Small
organizing money
volume
based on
actually
the
right
color
now.
of skin.
Shares
and
shares
other
up
ways.
about
It's kind of the last
24%.
administration
HAO.
It's an anime.
We have canceled $6 billion in contracts thanks to our great friend Elon Musk and his Doge team. A lot of those were DEI, gender, studying transgender mice. Who knew? The racism in pest management. We've canceled all of it. We're going through a major restructuring. USDA is one of the biggest agencies. It's sort of a catch-all. And we're really, really downsizing and aligning around putting
All right, there's your
farmers
break. See if
first,
it can
which
go
is
high
really,
today.
really important. A big part of USDA though is food stamps. It is perhaps one of the largest, if not the largest, welfare
She
program.
did say transgender
and
mice.
it's a supplemental nutrition program. Secretary Kennedy and I have been working very closely. We were in Texas yesterday talking about nutrition and agriculture. You can't make America healthy again without your farmers and your ranchers as your partner. So ensuring that our food stamp program and those at the bottom end of the socioeconomic ladder really have access to nutritious foods as we're facing an obesity crisis and a chronic disease crisis, which I'm sure Secretary Kennedy will touch on. And the final thing I'll say is this morning, Secretary Noem and I, together, and I brought a picture because I think this is important.
Well, that's the first time I've seen that one.
This is a South Dakota ranching
What's
family
up, Jiggy?
named
I was all over the place. I really
They
don't
are a
have.
fifth
Let me look it
generation,
up on
fifth generation ranching family. Charles Maude in his
Power
30s
E-Trade.
bought the ranch from his
I
granddad.
don't feel like there was
for
like
the
one
press when
home
he
run
was
hit, man.
17
It was a
years
bunch
old.
of base
Those beautiful
hits.
children, Lyle and Kennedy, his wife Heather. Under the Biden administration, they had, of their several hundred-acre operation, they used about 20 acres and had a fence that had been there since 1910 when their family took over the ranching operation.
No, I take that
There
back.
had never been
MSOX
really
was
any
2,000 of it.
problem that had been brought to their attention. Perhaps there was a minor dispute over,
updated?
again, 20 acres. This family was indicted, prosecuted, threatened
Power
with jail time, told to find guardians for
Right,
their
there it is.
children over a fence line dispute that the Biden DOJ
So,
pushed forward.
CEP.
So this morning, and the steps of the U.S. Department
This was,
of Agriculture with
I had
Secretary Noem, who was
$1,000
their
for
governor, as the governor of South Dakota,
this
which is where
MSOX
these great
hit.
people are from. All charges,
And I made
criminal
2,000
charges
on
were
that.
dropped, and really appreciate.
A really
the
light
Department of
trading day
Justice. It
for
was
me, honestly.
A really big day as we sent the signal that the over-criminalization and using government, and you know this better than anyone because you were in the crosshairs for so long, that those days are over and the regulation through prosecution is no more. And so
What
this
put
family
you on
is
those
one of many
trades?
that we'll now
Or
be
Squawk?
talking to ensure that
The
never
MSOX one, that was That was Beta Chuck from Benzinga. The other ones were just
Sir,
technical
it's
plays.
been a momentous 100 days with you at the helm, and I view this 100 days
Yeah, all of
as
those were
setting
just
the table
technical
for
plays.
peace
There
deals,
wasn't that
trade
many news
deals,
today,
tax
but
deals. So
what was
the
that,
next
the
100
Pope?
days we'll be harvesting.
But that one news play, I mean, that's how news works. Could be nothing, then out of nowhere, boom.
Plummeted, mortgage rates are down, food costs are
That's
moving
Jake's
lower,
favorite,
and
the Pope.
American families are finding their financial
No, I went to sit on
footing again.
hands and wait for Chris to
I had a group in
approach.
today.
It's like, thank you,
we are
Vega.
America under your
I feel like this is my own
Such as
service.
OMH and spiking
superpower,
activity new highs. Oscar
that
Michael
our
Hotel.
economy had become barbelled. We had high tech and finance on one side, natural
Nevada.
resources led by energy, which the previous administration tried to kill on the other.
That's
and you're
Besant, yep.
filling in between
Besant.
with precision manufacturing that we're going to be bringing
should listen
back
to what he
through
says.
good trade policies, good tax policies. Under the Doge at Treasury and the IRS, cost, tech support, and efficiency have increased. We have the IRS revenues are up, and thanks to the young man sent over by Doge,
The MSOS
IT
news, it was
update
pot
that began
news
in
that
1990, which
Trump's
was begun
pick
before
for
he
whatever
was born,
is gonna take
is
on.
going to be finished during your term. So trade.
Is that a
Pick it up. Trade, taxes, and
One of his first
deregulation.
priorities is going to be
one
the
big beautiful bill under your
debanking
leadership. Speaker
issue
Johnson
with
and
weed.
Leader Thune have done a great job, but the
Or rescheduling, I should say.
on many
More-
of their
I can't
members.
remember the headline.
And I'll just close by saying
Trump's picked the
economic
lead.
security
DEA
is
says
national
marijuana
security,
rescheduling
national
review will be
security
one of my
is
first
economic
priorities on the job.
security,
That's it.
And it's never been better. We're rebuilding it. And as I said last week at the IMF and World Bank conferences,
Holy jeez.
America first does not mean America alone.
That was kinda scary,
Under
too.
President Trump, it means leadership.
Well said.
Thank you. Are you busy enough? He's doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you, and thanks to the cabinet. So, at the risk of insulting everybody else at the table, I believe
Why are those so
that
hot?
I'm the youngest
I don't
member
know.
sitting at the
Everybody
table.
else get a little,
And
let me turn down.
it occurred to me that from the time that I was born to the time that Donald J. Trump was inaugurated, just a few months ago, we went from, again, 40 years, we went from the world's manufacturing superpower
much
to one in which
profile
we
you bet
depend
on FDA?
on
Huh?
the People's Republic of China to make the things that we need, We went from the proudest military in the world to one in which we failed to meet our recruiting goals. And we went from one in which bipartisan border policy was the consensus of both Democrats and Republicans to one in which we allowed 20 million people to run roughshod illegally over the countryside, causing crime, causing a stress in the welfare system. And again, that happened over the lifetime
The golden
of
tomato.
the youngest member of the cabinet. And what has happened in 100 days is that we've started to reverse every single one of those negative trends. And I think what it shows to me is that the president, and you sit in the Oval Office and you see these portraits of presidents past, and let's be honest, most of them have been placeholders. They've been people who have allowed their staff to sign executive orders with an auto pen instead of men of action. And the reason the media attacks this administration as chaotic is because the president is solving the problems the American people set about to solve. He's actually doing the things that he promised that he would do. And Mr. President, it's been an honor to be part of it for the past 100 days.
That's right, Spooker.
And let me just make one other observation because it's interesting. I've seen the data, I've monitored it, I've looked at it, but the most underreported fact of the first 100 days is that we came in with a massive recruitment shortfall.
Should
and
be
in
illegal.
100 days of Secretary Hegseth and President Trump's leadership, we now have people breaking down the doors to join
Watch
our
this
military.
ODD here.
To the media assembled here, it's
I
a
was gonna
really
say, it has a
interesting
level
question.
that could be breaking
Why
down
has that
on.
happened? Completely aside from the fact that I think it's a good thing or I think that President Trump deserves political credit for it, why did we go from a military where people didn't want to serve to now all of a sudden they do want to serve? That's a story you guys should cover, but compared to that, how much time have you instead focused on the fact that we deported an MS-13 gang member with a valid deportation order, and why is it that the press is so focused on the fake BS rather than what's really going on in the country? I think that what we've shown, sir, is that you can do a lot. You can do a lot in 100 days, but you've also unfortunately revealed that too much of the American media hasn't learned the lessons of the past 40 years. Thank you, sir.
No, he doesn't wear eyeliner.
Pam?
President,
That's
your
those
first
people that
100
have,
days has
what is it,
far
like double
exceeded that of
double
any
the
other
eyelashes?
presidency in this country, ever. Never seen anything like it. Thank you. Your directive to me was very simple: make
There's
America
actually a
safe.
term for it. I don't know what it's
And
called.
Despite that, we've still been defending over 200 civil lawsuits
But he
filed
did-
against you. On top of everything else, I think I'm representing every one of you in this room.
He does file
In
couches
some
though.
capacity.
That's all I
I
hear.
know you will not be arrested by the
Where
US
did that even
Marshal.
start? How does that
Over
even start?
200 lawsuits, over 50 injunctions, and now we've got multiple cases in front of the Supreme Court, and we will succeed, and we are doing great in front of the Supreme Court, President, and we'll continue on with that. I was at DEA yesterday, and they said to me,
Pam
you,
Bondi,
Donald Trump,
she
have
is-
taken the handcuffs
the work
off
she's
of
done had
DEA
done.
agents.
How old?
And
I keep
as a
getting.
result of since
how
you have been in office,
old is
President
Pam
Trump,
Bondi?
your DOJ
59.
agencies have seized more than 22 million fentanyl pills, 3,400 kilos of fentanyl.
She's
Since
59.
you've been your last 100 days.
You never guess it.
Which saved, are you ready for this, media?
Get that
258
freaking plug outta
million
here.
lives. Kids are dying every day because they're taking this junk laced with something else. They don't know what they're taking. They think they're buying a Tylenol or an Adderall and a Xanax, and it's laced with fentanyl, and they're dropping dead. And no
You know what the
longer
most rich
because of
thing
you,
is
what you've
ever?
done.
Is these
ATF,
stupid water
since
cup
you've been in office,
covers.
President, along with DOJ
Like, you just don't have enough
seized
money. So let's. You're
14,500
probably in the cleanest room in the
guns
world.
off the streets. Why aren't people
Anywhere,
reporting that?
you know,
651,000
anywhere the president is.
rounds of ammo.
You got bugs
That's
flying around, I'm sure.
151%
Dust particles flying
from
around.
2024.
Gonna land in your
That's
water.
keeping America safe. We've rescinded death penalty. We are now seeking the death penalty on cases. I'm signing death warrants. We are going after terrorism. We are going after arsonists. Whether you're burning Tesla,
Watch MSOS, trying to go high again.
arrested 9 people so far in 7
You have a 5-minute
jurisdictions.
W now
No
with the
negotiations,
525
20
break.
years in prison, or you're burning down the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. We will be there
There's
to
the
protect
break.
you.
You gonna do
And
anything
I've
with
been
it?
talking to Governor Shapiro, and he greatly appreciated you reaching out as well. ISIS terrorist, we got one in New York, right around the corner. We got an ISIS terrorist in New York. We have an October 7th task force. We just broke up a huge human trafficking ring by the Sinaloa cartel. 1,000 pounds of methamphetamine on our streets, ton of fentanyl, 20,000 Molly pills. Those are the drug of choice among at clubs and bars for young kids. They were fake, but you know what they had in them? Fentanyl. That's 20,000 lives saved because of you, right there. We brought back 29 cartel members from Mexico in your direction, and one killed the Kiki Camareno, a DEA
It's
agent in
official Secret Service
1985, and
procedure.
many of us got to talk to his widow and his son, who is now a judge. And they started crying. They have tried to get that guy back forever. And thanks to so many of you in this room working together, they have justice. They were crying on the phone because of what you did, President Trump. Thank you. We're going after
Covers.
anti-Semitism. We're
Okay, that makes
unleashing
sense. I
everything
take
you
it
told us.
back.
No more DEI, no more
I
weaponization.
take it back.
We have
Security
rescinded,
thing.
as
I
said,
can
200
believe that.
policies, and I could go on all
take it
day
back.
long, but we are doing everything in our power to keep America
How do you know
safe
that?
at your
Jeez.
direction. Thank you, President.
You're really doing a great job. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go.
Nice to see you, Mr. President. Well, first of all, I think what you've heard amongst this team is the leadership, because it's given us the
Why can't we get a
latitude
camera
really
on
to
the other side of the
collaborate
table?
amongst each other, not only in this room, as Jameson mentioned, we kind of get a break for a couple of hours here, but we stay in contact actually every other day.
I get it, Joystick. I get it.
for you. And I
It's one of the very few
what
times I
was
missed
was
it.
speaking to,
Okay,
for
I get
instance,
it.
the Farm Bureau of Texas yesterday.
Already
I'm
apologize.
Not the Ag Secretary.
Not gonna circle
but it
jerk
matters to the workforce.
everybody
And
here.
working with the other secretaries, Letnick and
Slip through the
McMahon on
cracks.
education and the workforce investments that you've asked me to do. Because as you've come in and negotiated these great repatriation of these companies and the investments, we're going to need that workforce to build back this economy. And I couldn't see that more as I've kicked off my 50-state tour. We've been in 5 states so far. We'll finish all 50 states by the end of the year. And what we're talking to
Bet
is
you will
the
finish them
American workforce and these companies about what the market
Finish
demands.
off those states.
That's the difference, that we finally have made that connection. What do they need? How quick do they need it? And how fast can I get these either apprenticeships toward that million that we've put that lofty goal? We've already added 80,000 new apprenticeships already just since January. So at the Department of Labor, that tour is kicked off, and I couldn't be more honored to be on the ground and see my colleagues that we're passing in the skies, but we're on the ground together because we're all collaborating together. One of the things that we're talking about, illegal immigration, I have put states on notice. I warned all 50 governors
STSS
that if they
just dropped
continue
50
to
cents out of
reward
nowhere.
illegal immigration by treating unemployment benefits as a handout, they're going to lose their federal funding as well. We can no longer continue to give unemployment insurance
SOS
to
going
illegal
for it.
immigrants, and so I've let those governors, and I sent out that letter last week. We also eliminated discriminatory DEI
On ticker
offices within
CETY,
government,
Charlie Echo
specifically
Tango
the Office
Yankee. Note
of Federal
CEO is
Contract
issuing a
Compliance
letter to
Most of our
shareholders
federal
CETY.
contracts were really just to focus on DEI enforcement. We were really punishing a lot of these companies. If they weren't compliant, they weren't going to have a federal contract. We've let go of that program completely. $4.4 billion in unspent COVID funds came back to the Treasury from the CARES Act. Billions were collected
SNN.
thus in these coffers, in the state coffers. We've asked for that money back to
Smith
return to the
and
Department of Treasury.
nephew.
We saved $250 million by canceling America Last, is what I call it, foreign handouts, including funding for things like transparency and accountability for Uzbekistan cotton industry. It doesn't make sense that we're funding, these foreign. And thank you to DOJ and to the government efficiency. What we have.
What's up,
found
hey?
is the
First time
fraud
chatter.
we've
I mean,
seen.
some of these things are so ridiculous you can't believe it.
No, I write them down and I read them more
Uzbekistan
than once. I'm
cotton
like, this can't be
palmers?
true. Yeah, it doesn't
It
make
sounds like
sense.
a comedy sketch.
That's right.
Is that
and so again, with the
Musk?
executive order preparing Americans for high-paying skilled trade jobs of the future, that's our goal. The trades is where we're being focused, but all companies, and we want to make sure we're on hand for that. And what I want to say is thank you to government efficiency. because you asked
COEP
us,
halted.
when this transitions out, will our departments and our agencies continue that government efficiency? And I think that we surpassed that in the Department of Labor. Out of our 14,000 federal employees, 3,000 have taken the DRP, and we offered it again. So over 21% have taken that offer. And we'll keep our critical workforce, MSHA, OSHA, and wage and hour, and make sure our workers stay safe. So with your leadership, Mr. President, I think we're honored to
MSOS,
serve.
Dominic
I
Cock.
know we will probably be the last to know
It's
each
doing a
other.
cock right
but
now.
We're getting to know each other well, and the team that you have assembled is really an honor to serve us. So thank you, Mr. President.
You're doing great. Thank you very much. Chris, please.
Mr. President, you ran on unleashing American energy, and 100 days have shown the tremendous impacts that can arise from the unleashing you have enabled. I'll hit a few highlights. Number one, oil, gasoline, and diesel prices are the lowest they've been in years. How does that happen in 100 days? That's a messaging. Your message that we're pro-energy. We're not against energy, we're for it. That sends a message to the marketplace that supply is easier to grow now and supply will be coming, and that's already led to tremendous savings for American
Practice in
consumers
his mirror.
across the country. And we need not only more affordable energy, but we need a lot more energy. One to highlight, I think a couple of us have touched on, is AI. This is a new emerging critical industry that's very energy intensive. It is not acceptable for the United States to not be the leader in AI. We must win the AI race and lead in that, and that's going to take a lot more energy. If you had not won election, we would not have won
Watch the
AI
energy
race.
plays.
Full stop.
Okay,
Energy
hello.
would not have been there to enable us to win. Reshoring of manufacturing. These trillions of dollars you led off with, it's going to come back to our country to make chips, to make steel, to make automobiles, to make artificial intelligence, to make all of these industries we've outsourced. That's only going to be possible with way more American energy. But we have that energy. We have
White
those
House.
resources. We have those businesses. We
Stream.
have those capitalists. We just need to stop standing in the way of them and follow the lead you've set, which is to enable them, not to subsidize them, not to help them, to enable them to invest American money and create American
Full stop.
jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Energy would not have
regarding
been
our
there
balance
to
of
enable
trade,
us
the
to
second
win. Reshoring of manufacturing. These trillions of dollars you let off with, it's going to come back to our country to make chips, to make steel, to make automobiles, to make artificial intelligence, to make all of these industries we've outsourced. That's only going to be possible with way more American energy. But we have that energy. We have those resources. We have those businesses. We have those capitalists. We just need to stop standing in the way of them and follow the lead you've set, which is to enable them, not to subsidize them, not to help them, to enable them to invest American money and create American jobs here. Regarding our balance of trade, the second largest export of the United States is liquefied natural gas. Second fastest. In the next few years, it'll be our largest export in our country. But yet, 18 months ago, the Biden administration had said, we're going to stop issuing permits for new LNG export terminals. That's just nuts. That's a great competitive advantage we have, huge balance of trade driver, a huge industry just coiled and ready to go. I just came back
Watch
from
the
Poland
CEP
last night.
consolidating
They
at
are
the VWAP
thrilled
oil
that
company.
America's back in business again,
always forget it.
and that the
I always
rest
have
of
to ask
Europe
what it
can get
is.
off of Russian energy and can enable their own economic growth.
I always
with
forget what it
secure,
is.
reliable, affordable energy from the United States. Also witnessed the signing ceremony for a deal between two large American businesses to build a huge nuclear power plant in northeastern Poland. The first of this design built in Europe. It'll be the first of many. I spoke with
Benzinga
many
market
other
update,
nations over
S&P
there.
futures
They want to buy
down
more American gas.
67.50,
They want to
the
get
Dow
American
futures down
technology.
331.
They want to have a partnership.
Nasdaq
with
down
us.
Typically what these are.
281.
The
But
message I
we've got some
delivered
market
to
movers
Europe
out
in
of it,
my
so.
keynote remarks is that unleashing
Crude is
energy
down
is going to make your
$2.48
society
now at
safer, more prosperous,
$57.95.
more
If
free.
there's questions at
and
the
that
end,
these
down
all
7
sort of
cents
all
at
these,
over-the-top
all these press
climate
releases are
alarmism
usually
is
circle
Gold is
jerks.
down
boosting the
9
health
But it's the
and
questions that
growth,
really can
but
get
it
us
does
to juice
impoverish
stuff.
down
people, it does
1680.
reduce the security
I don't know
of
if
the
there will be
nation,
any
and it makes you
here
weaker.
or not.
I think that's a constant message many of us
Maybe
around
a
this
couple. I
table
think
have
he's
brought
done
to
a
Europe. We
couple.
want our friends in Europe standing up again and leaning in. A lot great is happening under your leadership. We're
What are we talking
unleashing
about?
consumer products that Americans wanted to buy that
No
Biden was
basics.
making illegal. I'll be in Georgia on Friday at Renai's manufacturing plant. Tankless natural gas water heaters. Incredibly popular product. They almost became illegal. The return of common sense is incredibly welcome across this country, across the world. And back to
Ford
Elon.
delay.
That
Oh,
extra
I think
thing,
we're saying
going to
like
deliver
extreme
all
went down.
of
Ford
this
delay, price
with less
hikes. See
people,
what
less money, less
competitors
burden on the
do.
U.S. taxpayers.
Thank you, cheese.
Not smaller departments
Yeah,
and
Musk
smaller
is there.
services, better, more thoughtful services done more efficiently and smarter. The way you'd have to run a business. We've got to get our fiscal house in order, and you and the people around this table are making it happen. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Please.
Yes, Mr. President, you are 100% correct. The border is 99.99% safe, under control. You have completely reversed the entire situation. In fact, the day before yesterday, I was down in El Paso, And those Border Patrol agents are so impacted by how
they
you
hate
change
'em.
things in a year. They have put up huge pictures that say, under the Biden administration, the mobs of people that were pushing through razor wire and trampling children, and the chaos and the violence that was happening at that same location, they have a picture there that says, this is what the Biden administration looks like, and this is what the Trump administration looks like. It's peaceful. People who do business between Mexico and America are coming through. They're doing it legally. They're following the law, and it's all because of what you've done and what you've empowered them to do. The recruitment for Border Patrol is through the roof. For ICE agents, they want to be a part of ICE because they recognize they actually get to do their jobs. I have the Coast Guard too. Coast Guard recruitment is up over 20% just in the last 60 days. Everybody wants to be a part of what the heritage is of this country. We've repositioned the entire Coast Guard fleet to focus on border and drug interdiction. As we've secured the border, the cartels have gone to the water and are going out in maritime waters to move their drugs into this country. The Coast Guard just in the last 2 months has taken into custody over 126 tons of cocaine, millions of doses of fentanyl. It's just amazing. And the aliens that they are deporting is incredible too. We've been working with all of them. The one thing that I want to point out is the fake news has been saying that Biden deported more people than you. And it's an absolute lie. And they're letting the Biden administration get away with manipulating and cooking the books. What they're counting for the Biden administration is every single person that came to that border that they processed and let into this country. They're allowing Biden to say that was a deportation just by processing somebody and letting them come into the country. It's absolutely false. It's not true at all. You have deported over 250 known terrorists. You've deported thousands of foreign terrorist organization members and gang members, hundreds of thousands of people that were in this country illegally. We've collected $30 billion worth of tariffs through CBP, and we've also collected millions and millions, hundreds of millions of fines and penalties from people that have overstayed here in this country. So I just want to thank you. You've been a game changer. I want to thank Pete for his leadership at DOD and what they've done. I want to thank Marco for his diplomacy and getting us travel documents into these countries. Mexico has finally come to the table and now is going to take a lot more people that we're able to send back to that country. And the president of Mexico told me, sir, she turned around over 500,000 people in Mexico before they ever reached our border. We should be counting those as deportations because they never even made it to the border because she turned them around because you forced her to. So those are all people that never even came here because they got the message because you were so aggressive. So thank you for what you're doing, and every day we get to get up and do jobs that matter, and we appreciate that.
Tom is doing a great
Oh,
job.
yeah, Tom's a great messenger for us. He just, yeah, he's hardcore. Yeah, thank you.
He is hardcore.
Yeah, he is.
No question about it. Kelly?
Mr. President, it's such an honor to serve in this administration, and on behalf of Main Street America, for our 34 million small businesses that make up 99%
I'm gonna call it. I gotta go get this trailer back to Home Depot.
I have to tell you, under your leadership, Main Street
We probably, if you're gonna stick around, turn on that White House presser there and wait for the questions. You probably get something that moves something. So, come back. Nah, I'm gonna just call it a day. It's a good time. 1 o'clock, $3,000. April has been amazing for me. It's like the opposite of what I'm seeing in Discord. A lot of people are in Discord are like, this April sucks. It's like, well, that probably means my May is gonna suck dick. Anyway, we'll be back at it tomorrow. A lot of things that are setting up here, maybe in the 3 o'clock hour. But it's a good day for me. As always, DMs are open. Go DM that splitter lady. It's... Why are you going to say it like that? Freaking A. She did hug me. She couldn't keep her hands off me. And it was a close hug, not like the little reach over and, you know, barely touch. She was like, oh. Like, whoa. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.